Hey guys, this is Josh with Welcome to Die. We're going to do this episode a little differently. We're going to start off first and foremost with a little PSA from Jesse, and then we'll jump right back into the episode, start off with a little something funny, and kick into the intro and finish the episode out. So sit back and enjoy episode 6. Alright, thanks.
I know we like laugh and joke and we're funny on here and all that, but this is like kind of a serious thing. So it's that time of year, days are shorter, you don't get as much time outside, routine's thrown off, everything's just kind of meh this time of year. And it gets a lot of people down. Seasonal affective disorder, real thing.
Yep.
You know, people get depressed. You got to make sure to get out there, stick with your routine. Don't let it get you down. The big PSA is don't forget about your friends or whatever. Like, reach out to people. If they kind of fall off the map, there might be a reason why. They might be going through a tough time. Just reaching out to somebody makes a big difference. You might even save somebody's life. You know, just a simple text or call or whatever. Hey, haven't heard from you in a while. How's everything doing? You doing all right?
I remember a couple episodes back, someone making fun of someone for saying, check on your strong friends.
I did, and I take that back.
Jokes aside.
Those are the people that especially you need to check up on. They're the ones that always seem like they have it together.
The Robin Williamses of your life. Nobody saw that coming.
It's good for them, and it's good for you.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if did you guys watch Hill House?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of you?
Yeah.
Okay. That scene, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but
Spoiler
the scene,
alert.
I'm not going to spoil it. It's a fucking amazing show. Everyone should watch it. But
Agreed.
The one part where it does like the flashback to when the character's a child, and then now, and they say, you know, I was here the whole time, I was waving my arms, I was screaming, and nobody saw me. Nobody heard me. It's never always a grand gesture. People can talk and still never feel heard. Make sure you're listening. Make sure you're reaching out. It takes 5 minutes. Is that still a thing in St. Louis? Do they still have Comic-Cons up there?
Yeah.
It's in the St. Charles Convention Center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They have like a Halloween or a horror one also.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been to it.
Costs 25 cents. You go in there and knock off as many horrors as you can at the horror convention. The old Jeffrey Jenkins down the street got about 13 horrors for his quarter. And tell you what, they was going to give him an award, but he couldn't show up on account of the NIDS. So
You come down with the rickets again?
He came down with them lemony snickets. They just run right through his gumption, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Mesothelioma.
Yeah, diabetes. Mm-hmm. If you or a loved one have diabetes, call mesothelioma at 1-800-CANCER.
For all your vaginal mesh needs.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez.
Welcome to Die.
Alright. Were you good to go?
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright. Hello, Ashley, and welcome to Die, a weekly podcast where we talk about all kinds of odd topics.
We talk about whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, really whatever we're feeling.
I'm really
at
thinking
that
about
time.
I'm thinking about nixing this whole fucking railroad thing we got going on, and I think we should just be able to talk about fucking Monica Lewinsky if we want.
Yeah.
We should talk about fucking the goddamn Mighty Ducks movie if we want to talk about that. We can talk about
I'm
that.
okay with this.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
Okay with
nothing's off limits.
yeah, suck my fucking feet, Jesse.
All right. So we should probably rework our intro. We're a weekly podcast where we talk about everything.
Primarily
Welcome.
theories and shit, though. We might stray off topic. We might talk about your mom. Might talk about your mother. But she's an angel of a woman, and we're only going to talk about her in a wonderful light. All right, we will never paint her ugly.
That's not true.
I will paint her like my French women.
Paint her with your pee-pee.
And on that note,
C'est la vie.
today we are discussing Skinwalker Ranch.
Skinwalker.
We spent a solid 10 minutes today with Josh just talking in a French accent.
Oh oui.
And,
Oui.
he thought he was confusing C'est la vie and Parlez-vous.
Parlez-vous français? Mon ami? Parlez-vous? C'est la vie. Life is shit. Get to know this, eh? Hey, you American, huh? Eiffel Tower, huh? Baguette, huh? French toast, huh?
Now do French Canadian.
Sorry.
Man, you guys have got to start watching Letterkenny.
We talking about Le Skinwalker Ranch today. We have Le Special. It is French toast on baguette.
Yeah.
With
It's good. It's solid. It's a
with
solid accent.
what's fuck.
Skinwalker Ranch.
I was gonna say, what's the duck liver? What's that?
Oh.
What's it called?
Oh.
Fatty duck
Yeah, I
liver?
don't know.
That's French. Whatever.
Oh, you poutine?
No.
No.
No. God
I love
was-
poutine.
damn.
Don't you make like pate out of
You can.
liver?
You can. Whatever. It'll come to me like halfway through the episode.
Man, I remember Billy and Mary Jane's giving me a very thorough lesson on it. I feel like I failed him.
Foie gras?
Yeah!
Foie gras
it
for
is.
your baguette? Is your French toast for your American face? Huh? And coffee, monsieur. Bon appétit. C'est la vie.
Okay.
I shouldn't have brought it up.
No, that was a mistake. That was such a mistake. What have you done?
Okay.
Anything else?
Skinwalker? Le Ranch in America? They see the
Yeah.
UFOs in the wolf?
The UFOs, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Whew. You know, it's hard to follow that.
Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. And
Welcome to the Josh Show.
gonna be a-
That's all she wrote. Check another one off the list. Send it. Okay.
Okay.
Let's jump right into it.
so, Skinwalker Ranch
Pants.
is
Skinwalker
it
Ranch.
next to Skywalker Ranch.
It could be if you wanted it to be.
There
So it
is
is.
there is a Skywalker Ranch, just so you know.
So, Skinwalker Ranch is roughly a 500-acre property in northern Utah. It's surrounded by Native American reservations. And since the 50s, well, since before the 50s, but it didn't really get popular until the 50s, it's basically been the epicenter of all sorts of paranormal and extraterrestrial activity. Like, shit tons of UFO sightings and just weird stuff that doesn't make sense. just a lot of really crazy sightings. You could say they're cryptids, but as we dive into it, I think everyone will probably think otherwise. I've heard it described as a place where the world is thin, and I really like that. I think it makes sense.
Where the world is thin.
The world is thin.
I feel like that is very subtle fat shaming.
But not... It's thin, but it's not flat. You goddamn fucks.
But when you go up in a fucking airplane with the level, it's fucking level the whole time,
level,
Josh.
man. Yeah? Well, you can balance a level on a cue ball, too. So think about that for a minute.
Whew. So the Native American Ute tribe, one of the tribes that borders it, they consider that land cursed, and they avoid it at all costs, and it's basically like forbidden territory to them, and so much so that they aren't even comfortable like talking about Skinwalker Ranch. Like they are not willing to divulge information. Yeah, exactly.
Why don't you guys go over there? Oh, that land is cursed. Well, what's so cursed about it? Oh, there's lots of white people over there.
Yeah.
They think they remove us from our home, but we willingly go.
They shit in the creek, and that's about all I can take of that.
So,
Shit Creek.
fun fact, this fucking ranch is just outside of a small town called Le Fort du Chien.
God damn.
It is I, your French host. Oui, petit Magronier. Here for you.
Oh my.
I have le bâton rouge for your wee baguette.
He's a charmer in
Fort-
that one.
Fort Duchesne is
Which looked really cool.
the little town. Oh, no. I was on Google Maps to, like, the next biggest city over, which is just, like, a hop down the road.
Oh.
Fort Duchesne's kind of a shithole. No offense if you live there, but I guarantee you do all your grocery shopping in the other place.
Oh. I think I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, whatever. I'll look it up. Let's see.
Is that spelled the same way as the Duchesne Brewing Company? I don't even know if that's how you say it. No, that's Deschutes.
Yeah, you're thinking of Deschutes.
Yeah, you're thinking Deschutes.
Deschutes.
I actually went to the Deschutes Brewery.
Yeah?
And it was fucking incredible. The whole place was done like a cabin, and everything in there was made of wood. Cool. And they had like chainsaw carvings of like bears and shit in it.
Huh.
Cool. Awesome.
Did they have bear carvings of chainsaws?
In the bathrooms. Bathrooms they did.
Yes.
So the little town next door to Fort Duchesne is called Roosevelt, and it's probably a little smaller than Perryville.
Are you guys familiar with where the Skinwalker term came from?
Skinwalker?
It's like an Indian thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would wear the hides of animals and basically change shape into them, right?
I mean, potentially. The legend is that someone who kills someone in their family, like commits a really like grievous act, they then have the power to basically be a shapeshifter with any animal of their choosing. Typically the story is with wolves, as it goes with this. But yeah, so that was just a Native American idea, and they believed, which one of the theories I have for later, basically just goes over how someone potentially cursed the land with a skinwalker, and that's why they don't go there anymore, because weird shit just pops up all the time.
You want to know what's really fucking weird? This town of Roosevelt, all their fucking streets don't have names. They're just numbers.
Okay.
Like 500, 300, 200 road.
But not to confuse
550,
anyone,
600, 650.
Skinwalker Ranch is in Ballard, Utah.
Uh-oh.
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 You guys still there?
Some shit's happening here. Network error.
Hello?
Someone downloading a bunch of porn again?
Uh-oh.
Well, fuck.
Think Skype took a shit.
Hello?
No, it's still working. You guys,
Hello?
hello?
Hey.
Hey, what's going on?
I don't know. I think we might have been frozen in time.
It happened to you too?
Yeah.
Cat's still frozen.
Yep.
All right, you guys there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like we all
That was strange.
froze up
Yeah.
for a second.
Cool. I lost internet connection, Josh. I
really?
don't know about you. Yeah.
No, I don't think I did.
Okay. Well, we're back. So I'm just gonna go straight back into it. The earliest mention I could find of unexplainable phenomenon was in the 1700s, where some Spanish explorers in search of the Spanish Trail, they were camping, and they claimed to have seen crafts in the sky over their campfires at night. And that's just internet fodder. I don't really know how real that is. I actually had a really difficult time coming up with genuine sightings other than the people who lived there or studied it. But I do know that a local newspaper in 1978, they reported a dome-shaped UFO surrounded by a green glowing light, and a bunch of people saw that. So there was one very documented thing prior to the Shermans moving in.
And when was that sighting?
1978.
78. Yeah, that was a good
Yeah.
year.
Does it pass the tried and true UFO test? Did no one remember it for at least 3 months?
Right.
Which, that topic, also, I have tied that into this later on for some of my theories about this shit. I'm excited. I went deep into this yesterday.
Oh, I'm very happy about this. I want to backtrack for just a second, because you'd said in the Native American belief that if you killed a family member or something like that,
Yeah.
you became a skinwalker. That's like the worst, like, cautionary tale I think I've ever heard in my life. It's like, hey, don't kill your sister, because then you'll be able to change into any animal you want, okay? So don't.
Don't do that.
It's like the Wendigo. If you kill her and then you eat her, then you turn into the Wendigo.
But do you turn into a skinwalker Wendigo?
Yeah. It's like Jedi Master.
We're denying you the rank of master.
I didn't hear a word you just said.
Me neither.
I said we are denying you the rank of master.
Oh. Well,
You're not a member of this council.
I'm gonna deny you the rank of
Go
blow it out your
kill
ass, Yoda.
someone. Yeah.
Fucking up yours, Hoosier. I'll take my fucking lightsaber and go work for fucking Darth Vader. Fuck, see if I give a shit.
Darth Vankin?
Yeah. Flash forward to me standing outside the Death Star like, hey! Open up! Goddamn! What gives? Motherfuckers you wouldn't know talent if it fucking kissed you in the ass. In the hole on your ass, would you? Shit! Off he goes into the desert. The last great Jedi Master. Anywho.
Okay.
All right.
Goddamn. So the reason this place got pretty famous was because the Sherman family moved into it in 1994, and I don't know why no one ever documented anything before them, but they were just really vocal about it. They talked to anyone about it in local newspapers and people who are interested in writing books, and so they were very transparent about everything that happened to them there. And I am not inclined to believe that it was false, because they invested a lot of money in this place And they lost a lot of money in this place, too.
So there are people out there that are saying these guys trumped it up a little bit to get attention.
Actually, I never came across anything. It just seems like the likely opposite.
Okay.
Fucking clothes hamper moved on its own, and I looked down, and it was actually Chloe's foot kicked it. I was like, all right.
And then, dun dun, Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
So, Terry and Gwen Sherman and their children, they moved onto the property in 1994. They were into breeding cattle. They had a lot of hybrids, and they were very expensive cattle. Not like, I don't really know my cattle breeds, but not your run-of-the-mill cows.
Not your regular Holstein milk cow.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Interestingly enough, the land was sold to them under the condition from the previous owners that they were not allowed to dig unless they got the previous owner's consent. So no digging on the property unless you contacted and got the A-OK from the prior owners.
What do you got out here, Steve? You got a bunch of bodies? Don't you ever fucking say it to me again, all right? Don't fucking get over there.
I said no fucking digging.
So I tried
Sign
to
the
do
contract.
I tried to do some looking into what that could have been for. There's a lot of theories that the previous owners had a son that died under mysterious circumstances that they buried. There was another theory that an owner prior to them died on the property and they didn't know where he was buried, so, an unmarked grave, they didn't want anyone digging. But the general theory is that there are mineral laws, so they may have sold the property, but they still own the rights to the mineral in the land. So perhaps that's it. I don't know.
Interesting.
I'd never heard of that before.
That doesn't make sense. How do you, it'd be like, hey, I'm going to sell you this box, okay? It's a locked box. I'm just going to sell it to you. But everything that's in the box is still mine.
Right.
Okay? So don't you fucking dare open this thing, okay?
Right.
You can have it. You can have it until I'm dead. I don't care. But if you ever fucking open it, I'll kill you.
I think that by digging, they actually meant, profiting off of the property in that manner.
I see.
I don't think they actually meant, don't stick a shovel in the ground. I think they meant, hey, don't dig here and sell whatever minerals you find.
Well, they could have been a little more specific.
Who knows?
It would be funny if they did just mean, digging with a shovel. He's like, I'll fucking show them. I'll dig my own goddamn holes. As soon as he sinks it in, he just, pisses himself and passes out. I told you not to dig out there, boy.
So, the Sherman family, they kind of walked right into a strange situation. The house was a shit pile. They had to do some work on it before they could even move in. But some things that immediately should have set off some alarms for them were that lots of doors and windows were deadbolted from the inside and the outside. I think there were even some doors that led nowhere.
Fun fact. This is totally off topic again. I'm bad about this. I'm sorry. Anytime someone says the word alarm now, I think of Hot Shots Part 2. When he goes in to break fucking what's her name out of jail and it says Malarm on the wall. And it's I want to say that every time someone says alarm, I want to be like Malarm. But yeah. Anywho,
I haven't seen that.
Oh my god,
it's
everyone
good.
should.
Charlie Sheen got fucking jacked for that movie.
Yeah, he did.
Charlie Sheen got fucking humongous. He was a gigantic motherfucker in that movie. Roids. Anyways. So
as well as deadbolts that didn't make any sense,
right.
They also had found a really large chain outside that they were quoted as saying, it seems to have been used for restraining a heavy animal. I mean, that was completely, like, just their opinion.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? Maybe somebody had a dog chained up outside. But considering some of the things they run into later, maybe not.
Right.
So they saw tons of UFOs while they were there. I don't know if there's an actual number that anyone's come up with, but they saw many in variable sizes and shapes. They saw some that were multiple football fields and had blinking lights, and they would leave like a flattened impression on the ground beneath them. They saw a figure, a 7-foot-tall figure standing next to a UFO. They saw oblong and triangular-shaped UFOs. They even saw lights in a row in the distance, in the dark, and I guess Terry stated that in between some of the lights you could see blue daylight, and he is quoted as saying that he believed it was a portal to another dimension. So, and then also I read that they would just be like, you know, going about their daily business either on the house or in the fields, and like they would just hear like strange languages come out of thin air, like from nothing.
Well, I figure we better go see what it's about over there, yep.
Hey, yeah, I was walking down in the ravine there. I heard somebody coming at me with this fucking whoosh kebab breath, vintage, whoosh, get you. And I figure we better go. I mean, you better get your gun for sure.
You better.
Gosh darn, you know.
You better grab your side popper, and we better hop on over there pretty soon. Like that sounded pretty threatening. He sounded, gosh, kept pretty angry. He's gosh darn, he was just a hooting and a hollering. If I had known what he was saying, I probably would have popped off at the mouth a little bit. Right back, I said, hey, mister, not on this here land. I own it. I might own this box, but God darn, the folks before me are pretty angry, and they own what's in the box. And let me tell you, they don't want you out here doing no digging. So you better get on, okay? That's what I was about to say to him, but I didn't have no guns for which to do the shootings with, so I figured I better get on back home before we get on over there.
So a lot of the stories. Sorry, I don't know. I just gotta go on.
That needs to be archived.
Yep. Okay. So they're hearing voices on their property.
Yeah. And then they start seeing wolves.
Was it just foreign languages, or was it like fucking crazy shit that they couldn't identify?
I think it was all stuff they couldn't identify.
Okay. So, like, it could have just been, like, ancient Greek or something, and they, like, would they have known?
I mean, yeah, theoretically, who knows? These were simple Mormons. I doubt they knew Greek.
Yeah. Or, like, Sumerian from the fourth kind.
Right.
Yeah.
Ugh, freaky shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they didn't specify, but I don't think it was anything comprehensible. Keep in mind, like, there have been a few books on this, and none of us have read these books, so there's probably more information out there than what we collected.
Who the fuck wants to read? Yeah.
So, the day they move into this house, it's a rainy day. They're outside. The whole family's outside doing some farm shit. Who knows what. Mm-hmm. And this
definitely not digging.
Right, they were not digging.
Definitely not doing any of that.
This huge wolf comes out of nowhere, and it walks straight up to them, just brazenly, and they start to pet it. And they all commented how it smelled like a wet dog because it was rainy. So they actively welcome this wolf right up to them and begin to pet it. No one was concerned about rabies. I don't know. Like, what animal just starts acting weird and walks right up to you?
I don't know. The fact that it's a fucking wolf.
Right.
That would have been very alarming to me.
Right. So, shortly after, the wolf kind of, like, meandered off and walked right up to their livestock pen and snatched a calf and started to attack it. Terry and his father, which I guess his father's name is also Terry. I don't know. They
Hi, I'm
began
Terry.
to...
This here's also Terry.
Yeah.
This is Terry the First. Terry, first of his name,
And
and whatnot.
I
you know?
reckon that little hairy gumption over there, that's probably the boy that was over there hooting and hollering in the holler over there.
Yeah, and
the other
you know,
day.
he goes over there and he snatches up a gosh darn calf. You
And
know, how's that for
I
a
looked
howdy
at him,
do?
I said,
You know,
feller, you're about to perturb me now. You better put him down. I got me a popper there in the house. I'll get you one.
Did you guys like beat the wolf? Would that be your first inclination to just manually beat the wolf?
Well, I mean,
I'd
if
just
he,
go over there and I'd beat that wolf just straight off. You know,
just beat
Yeah.
him right
straight
off.
off into the woods. Yep.
Just
with
beat him
both-
off.
I'd beat him off with both of these here hands. You see, I'd say, listen here, Jack. These aren't to be trifled with here. These aren't no. I'm no spring chicken now. I've had a couple rough and tumbles.
I tell you what, I'd beat him off until we were both, you know, chafed and
Yeah.
you know, a little worse for wear there. You know.
Oh yeah. All right.
All right, so they beat the wolf, and it didn't do anything.
They
Surprise.
yeah.
And so then they shot it with a .357 Magnum at point blank range. It didn't
So they
do
did.
anything.
They did go back and get the old popper from the house
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
I guess they did. I don't know why they didn't have it closer.
Right.
So they shot it, and
Mm-hmm.
they dropped the calf, but it just like stood there and watched the family. Like, it didn't act hurt. It didn't bleed. It didn't do anything.
It's just like, so you challenge me now. I see. I will return. It will not be your birthday again.
He's just shooting the wolf, and nothing's happening. So they're starting to panic.
This fucking gun's broke.
And yeah, don't work.
No. This fucking thing's a piece of shit.
Terry Sr., I assume, grabs a hunting rifle,
Uh-huh.
and he shoots him at point blank range again.
God damn.
They shot him multiple times with both guns. Wolf does not react at all. To me, if you shoot something with a rifle, like, it's gonna go down. But to me, the unfazed reaction sounds very much like a rabid animal. But so, I don't know how many shots were fired. It didn't specify, but at one point, a piece of skin and hair from the wolf just like flies off, and that's it. That's the only wound. But the creature was completely calm. It's not freaking out, and it just like walks off, just leaves.
Jesus.
And they try to track it. They follow the trail for like a mile, I think, and nothing. They just lose it. There's nothing at all.
Jesus.
They said that the piece of like hairy flesh smelled like rotten meat, and it kind of had like a musky fox scent. But yeah, it was just gone. That was
there
it.
was one of them. Their zombie wolves. They've been telling you about.
They said, they said it looked like what we would consider a dire wolf. Like, it was just a really large wolf.
It's big. Hey, Hey,
It's Artemis.
your whole thing's
Oh.
just fucking going.
He's just scratching himself like crazy. Stop.
So did they say how many times they shot it?
I know that I read one account where he was shot 6 times with the handgun,
God damn.
but I don't know how many times it was shot with the rifle.
Jesus.
They saw this thing all the time, really, and I believe others saw it as well. Some people saw it like walking on 2 feet. Some people claimed it was like gigantic, like fucking huge. There was another incident. So they're also working outside, and they're tagging newborn calves. So this is like a family effort. They're all outside. There's a few yards from the house doing this. At one point, I'm not sure what caused them to notice it, but they walk around the corner, and there is a calf laying on the ground that's been completely gutted. Like, its entrails have been completely removed from it, and they're piled on the ground nearby. They said that they weighed it. It was 75 pounds of meat that were removed from this calf and just dumped right next to it. But there was no blood found on the animal or on the ground. And they had lab tests done. The scientists decided that this was a careful butchering done with precise instruments. This wasn't no joke. And so this occurred 200 yards from where the Shermans were. And they didn't hear a thing. And the calf that was butchered, they had tagged it less than an hour before that.
Dios mío.
Yeah.
El chupacabra,
creepy.
It's a goat sucker. He comes for your livestock, eh? He come in like a snake, huh? He come in, you never see him, you never hear him. But he come in so fast and so silent.
Creepy.
That's it. That's all I got.
You're just waiting for more.
That's it.
So, like I said, their cattle were really expensive, and during their time there, they had an 80-head herd, and 14 of them were either mutilated or went missing.
Fuck.
So that's pretty much
thousands and thousands
ruin their
of
business.
dollars.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
fuck. Have you been to the supermarket lately and tried to buy a fucking steak?
right.
Like that is maybe like if you're getting a big fucking steak, you're getting 1 pound of meat, and this thing just pulled 75 pounds of shit out of this calf. You know, think about the goddamn money they're losing.
Yeah. And sometimes, like, these weren't just mutilations. Like, they didn't make sense. Like, the entire, body cavity would be removed from the animal and just be missing. And nothing else would be touched. Or, like, the entrails would be gutted, like, not to be gross, but via the anus. And, like, there would be no wounds whatsoever. Like, no bite marks or anything like that. Like, it was just very bizarre shit.
Those cows need to wear a weight belt while they're squatting. I'll tell you that.
we got someone going around here, taking this whole ass eating literally,
It's fucking hashtag I eat ass. It's like, god damn, these cows can't take much more of it. I tell you, they might be heifers, but gosh darn.
God.
Yeah, I mean, I tell him, Yee Naaldlooshii, it's not a contest, it's just there to be enjoying.
Yeah.
Not to be sucking it out,
So they're basically experiencing complete and total prolapses, where the whole thing just gets pulled out of their rear end.
Some of them.
Jesus.
Some of them just went completely missing.
How do they know they didn't just vomit up their guts? How do they know it came out of the ass?
Fair question.
Yeah. Get a hold of some of that fire water down there, and it just fucking...
Where are you when the crimes happen? Asking the real questions.
Fucking CSI Dan's down there like, yeah, well, all the guts are over there. Cows over here, it's clear he just shit them all out. I'm like, oh yeah? Well, what if it just came out the other end? It's like, listen, fuckface, why don't you go sit in the car? Alright? I got this. Okay.
They had a couple of dogs that, 3 of their dogs that saw a light and decided to chase after it, and were never seen again.
It's a good way to get rid of your dogs right there.
Yeah. One of the accounts I read said, like, verbatim, that they had been chased and pulverized by the light. So they bolted after the light, and then the light just, I don't know what pulverized would mean in that sense. Like, I don't know, but they never saw their dogs again. Yep.
Probably into a thick dog soup.
Yep. Yeah, I think there was all kinds of other stuff too, like some other kind of bipedal, Bigfoot-looking creature, crop circles. I think even like lit doorways that would just appear out of nowhere. A lot of weird shit. So they moved...
Like out in the wild?
No, in their house.
Oh.
Well, with the doorway thing.
Yeah. I'm just like,
so
the
they
fucking
moved there
door just opens up out next to the tree? Like...
Maybe. There's even weirder shit I'll tell you about later. Yeah, so they moved in 1994, and they moved out in 1996.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even make it a full 2 years.
Damn.
They sold the ranch, and Tom, the dad, he stayed there working with the entity that bought it. But one more weird dog story. The Bureau of Indian Affairs, the BIA, there's a really weird... Yeah, there's a really weird story that everyone leaves out because they didn't want to sound insane, and it literally just sounded so stupid nobody wanted to talk about it. So I believe it was two officials. They were patrolling near the ranch.
Indian of them.
Yeah, and they were driving in their car.
No, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, but wait till you hear. Like,
Okay.
I wouldn't want to tell anyone either.
Right. This man
They're
comes
driving
at me and he's
around
like, let me
patrolling.
suck your guts out of your butt. And I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my eyes, you know? And then he ran over into the field, and you hear all kinds of moos and God knows what. So
Just slurping sounds you hear.
It's a vicious...
My God.
God.
It's just a fucking sucking, you know? He was out there just giving her what for, you know? Anywho, so
they're driving around, and they see a pair of figures on the side of the road, and they're going to go scope it out, figure out what's going on. I don't know what time of day. Well, I guess it was nighttime, because they shone their lights on the individuals as they pulled up, and they swore that they were canine in nature, but they called them dogs when they talked about them. They were standing upright, wearing trench coats, and smoking cigarettes.
The dogs?
The dogs.
that's
The patrol car.
That's
Yeah.
the fucking family's dogs that ran off, man. They were like, fucking, let's kick this fucking taco stand, dude.
I want to be a private eye.
Yeah.
So they
Detective
pull the
McGruff
car
here.
over.
We're here to investigate these fucking lights. They're coming down. Justice or I ain't leaving.
God damn. So they pull the car over, and they look at each other, and then when they look back, the dogs are gone, and the cigarette butts are on the ground. And that was it. And they didn't want to tell anybody because it's a little embarrassing.
You could say they hightailed it.
Oh.
Hey, who knew? All right.
They did it.
Okay,
All right. So
they
that's
didn't wanna-
pretty much all I got for sightings and stuff
so
while
they
they lived
they didn't
there.
wanna tell people about seeing the dog people in the trench coats.
Right.
I mean, I get that.
Like, well, they told people, but it was left out of all literature. Yeah, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
A little weird.
I mean, yeah, because it's like telling the story. It's like, yeah, I'm on board with you. Okay. And then, so there were these dogs smoking with trench coats on. You been drinking again there?
Yeah.
So
Sort of.
We're just gonna forget.
Desert drugs.
We're just gonna forget you said that. We're just gonna forget that you said anything about that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Anywho.
So there's a really rich guy named Robert Bigelow. He got really rich making, I think, a hotel chain or something like that. But he has spent the majority of his life, he's got a really extensive background, actually, investing all his money into legitimizing paranormal investigations.
Do his
So-
friends call him Bigelow?
They should.
No, you should call him Deuce.
Yeah. So he decided that he was going to buy the property, and he employed the old Sherman dude to be a range manager. He created the National Institute of Discovery Science, or NIDS for short. So NIDS, as far as paperwork goes, is who officially bought the ranch in 1996 from the Shermans. And they stayed there until 2004. So, not to be dry, but some background on this guy.
Yep.
Well, not background, but after NIDS, he created the Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies, which is kind of a big deal. They are who the Pentagon contracted to study UFOs. Now, they were doing a study at that time, I believe, but they were also part of, I don't know if you remember, in 2017, there was a big announcement about the Pentagon studying UFOs, and allegedly it started in 2007 and ended in 2014 or something.
Yeah.
But so really they've been doing this the whole time. But so they hired this guy Bigelow's team to help study, which comes into play later. Also, some of the members from that team, and potentially Bigelow himself, he's a little shy about it, but they now work for Tom DeLonge's team Among the Stars Academy, which also studies similar topics. They're like trying to reverse engineer UFOs and bring all of this science to the general public.
Wait. Why does that name sound familiar?
Because I've talked about Tom DeLonge a lot.
Tom DeLonge of Blink-182.
And Angels and Airwaves. And
Yeah.
Huh.
He's also a Freemason.
He left Blink-182 to start studying UFOs, and he went AWOL for a couple years, and somehow has managed to make a lot of close ties with people and somehow get a lot of insider information. And he is pioneering this entity.
So he did a podcast with Joe Rogan where he goes into pretty extreme detail with the whole how he got into everything. Yeah, I mean he's got a lot of former government employees and scientists and shit working for him now. And he's got a board of advisors that kind of tell him what he can and can't say to the public.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. He's kind of the buffoon in charge of it.
Yeah. Yeah. But they kind of view it as all these people, they wanted to get together with a common goal of disclosure and yada yada yada, research, blah blah blah, doing it right, not getting the government involved, right? But they didn't have a true figurehead, someone to bridge the gap between public and all this private information. So Tom DeLonge basically volunteered himself and said, I can take all of your info and deliver it to the public in such a way because I'm used to being this fucking guy, the Blink-182 man, right? So
but
take that for what
he's
it's
also
worth.
He's doing a lot of interesting stuff with media. He's creating books and movies. And his theory is that the ideas behind UFOs and anything in that realm is that it is so complex and hard for the common person to understand. It's so foreign, we wouldn't have the capacity to understand it. His thinking is that if you introduce it in various media platforms, that it'll be more relatable and maybe a little less scary.
Mm-hmm. A little less taboo as well.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is instead of going big, you should start with all the small things.
Fucking
yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he really talks the talk, but he kind of I don't know, leaves everybody hanging. All the time he's like, man, I got this big announcement next week, stay tuned, and it's really obscure and everybody's waiting for full disclosure. And when he announced everything in 2017, there were 2 separate videos of crafts that were released that have not been disproven, and that was kind of his big shebang. But nothing really since then. Back to the wolf topic, I was just telling Josh about this. I kind of stalk Tom DeLonge's stuff just in case. And about a year ago, he was getting kind of feisty in the comments section on his Instagram, and he was rebuttaling to someone's really pissy comment, and they were talking about Skinwalker Ranch. he was basically telling the individual who had commented, like, you know, you're a fucking idiot. Why don't you try Googling this shit? Which is funny. But anyways, why don't you Google this stuff and figure out how much the government's really been involved? You don't even understand what's going on. There were wolves the size of trucks out there, and people who work for the Pentagon now work for me. I screenshot it, and almost instantaneously he had deleted the comment. It's kind of interesting. I can't wait to find out what he knows. But it is true. Some of those people do work for him, air quotes, whatever, on his team. But so yeah, all those entities tie together. NIDS, so Robert T. Bigelow, he buys the place, creates NIDS. NIDS moves in, basically turns this into an observation post. Like, it's a live study that they've got going on here. They put up video cameras everywhere. They hire a shit ton of people. I think they hired like 50 people. They've got researchers observing 24 hours a day.
And they were there for damn near like 10 years, right?
No, it was 96 to 04. So, yeah. So they were there a good bit. Yeah, and they saw some really wild shit. There was a situation where there were 3 telephone poles. There's a camera on each one of them. And one of the cameras is aimed to view the other camera. And that camera was gutted and destroyed on camera by the other one. And there was no visible entity that did it. It just like spontaneously combusted for no apparent reason.
Well, like, do they have the footage available?
It's not available. No. And that's the biggest problem with what they did there. They never came up with, you know, irrefutable proof.
Right.
There was one incident where some researchers witnessed a portal open up in the ground, like outside, like the ground started to glow. It resembled a 5-foot diameter tube, and a figure crawled out of the tube and just walks off and disappears. So it's like, yeah, a figure. So, and it's just another situation where they didn't document it, or, you know, there's no audio, visual proof that this happened. They're all just out there doing drugs for all I know, but...
So, be honest with me here. Why can't I dig on the property? I'll tell you, son, because as soon as that shovel hits the ground, fucking tube's gonna shoot out and a naked man's gonna come out and he's just gonna run off into the woods. Do you understand?
Yep.
Well, let's get these shovels a-cracking. Everybody set up the cameras. Let's fucking get it together.
I want those woods full of naked men by Saturday, okay?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, they saw all kinds of weird shit. And there were a couple books written about specifically what happened during the time that they were there. There was an investigative reporter named George Knapp who was basically given permission to hang out for the entirety of the thing. And he wrote some in-depth books.
George Knapp?
Yeah.
Any relation
Knapp
to Dan
with
Snacks?
a K. Maybe. Never know.
I've heard that name before.
He had a tribal police officer approach him and basically say, like, you're actively hunting this shit. It's gonna hunt back. It's powerful. It'll harm you. It'll kill you. Like, I've seen this happen. Don't do this. Like, you need to get the fuck out of here. Obviously continued on his merry way. Anyway, so NIDS never really came up with anything conclusive. Surprise. Or did they, and we just don't know about it.
Hello? Hell.
Uh-oh. I did it again.
Hello?
She's froze.
Fuck.
She's froze. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
She froze. She ain't there anymore, man. You gotta let it go.
Jack! Jack! Well, not coming back.
There was enough room for both of them.
Definitely. That was a big fucking door. Technical difficulties.
She's just, like, on my screen, she's like,
And mine, she's like... I'll just take a screenshot.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Down
Whoa, how do you do that?
bottom right.
Bottom right. Oh, snapshot?
Mm-hmm.
Does it take a picture of you and me?
Take a picture of everybody.
Hey,
Hey!
Oh, there she is.
is this not happening to you, Josh?
No, we're both fine.
Cool.
It fucks me up for just a second, and then I'm right back.
Yeah, I don't have good connection at all. So, you guys want to get into some of the theories?
Yeah.
Oh, is that all the crazy shit that happened, though?
Yeah. I mean, there's more, but it's not widely available information. It's probably in those books.
I just don't want to research, you know?
I just don't have the time right now.
I don't either. That's why you should donate to our Patreon, so that we can actually make a quality podcast.
Okay, well, some theories. I don't know if you guys have any theories, but I got a list.
Yeah, I'm very interested to hear your theories, actually. Because this is so, like, straight out in what the fuckville that I'm still trying to, like, process what the fuck it could even be.
Yeah, it's all weird.
Okay, so...
So, not a very exciting one, but the Navajo had claimed that the basin, like the ranches in the basin, it was theirs in the early 19th century. It was a really good area, freshwater hunting grounds, just kind of like paradise. And eventually the Ute tribe attacked them, selling them to the Spanish as slaves and claiming the land as their own. And so allegedly they retaliated with a curse in the form of, a skinwalker, and that's why the area is so fucked up. So maybe that's what it was. Who knows? Or it's a location for aliens to observe us. Could be a military test site. Some people think that there is a UFO base inside the ridge along the perimeter. I don't know. I didn't look too much into this, but supposedly there are Freemason etchings throughout the property. I don't know what the symbol is.
It's a fireball.
Or what the purpose is, but
Yeah, it's likely just like territorial pissings. It's like, this is mine. Mine. This over here. This little rock. This is mine. Mine. And then there's fucking the little... Mine. This one. Mine.
It's just pictures of dicks on everything. Weird.
Other people think that it could be strange because it's an Indian burial ground. I mean, it probably is, but I doubt that has anything to do with it. But my two favorite theories are that it actually is a portal into other dimensions. I think that really could be likely. Or it was a site for human testing by the military.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is honestly what seems most likely to me.
And you think it was like some sort of scare tactics campaign against this family? Like, let's see how these different things affect a human family, or what?
I think the testing happened while the NIDS team was there.
Oh, okay. And what's your theory on the fucking double locked doors? Like, locks on both sides.
I have no earthly idea.
Like, I'm gonna lock you out of my house. And someone's like, well, that's fine. I'm gonna lock you in. It's like, you can't do that. I'm gonna unlock it. I'm like, yeah, well, now I'm gonna unlock you. Like, well, now you locked out. Like, oh, shit. Well, you locked in now. It's like, all right. Called a draw. Unlocked. Locked. Fuck you. Like,
Maybe they were being hunted by something and wanted to catch it.
get it in the house and then lock it in.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I saw some, like, art, and I'm assuming it's from the Sherman's experience, but there was, like, a really tall entity, like, lurking around a corner inside their house. So I'm sure there's some weird story tied to that, but...
Well, we already know the guns don't work. So...
Yeah.
How do you know
Clearly.
the fucking 18 deadbolts on your door is going to work? Yeah. It's just a challenge. You challenge me, mortal. Yes, shoot me more. Shoot me with all of the bullets in your gun. Do it
Bullets,
now.
they're like vitamins to us.
God damn.
So the U.S. Department of Defense, their secret research program,
Yeah.
it was called Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, AATIP. So just I'm trying to clarify some entities. So there's AATIP, that's the government entity. There's TTSA, that's Tom DeLonge's To the Stars Academy. There's NIDS, which is the rich dudes thing, which became no more, and then he created Bass.
NIDS is Jesse's company. It's fucking Nichols in disguise.
Hey!
Yes.
That's right.
That's Jesse's company. We all knew. We knew it all along.
No, it's Nichols
So-
Nichols in disguise. Stupid bitches, but like stupid bitches is one word.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Very nice.
So, has there been any official government statement on the ranch?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Like, none at all. Government's like,
No.
we're not even going to acknowledge
No.
that that's a thing.
No.
Okay.
There's just like a really long stare and then a shrug. And
yeah.
that's it.
Well, they got dogs.
Yep.
So,
No, I know what it is. That's the town that those, the fucking classic painting of like the dogs like shooting pool
playing poker.
or playing poker
Yeah.
or
Oh my
whatever.
God.
That's where those dogs live. Fucking hell. It's a real painting. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. It's a real painting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
sitting around smoking cigars and like, oh shit, Spike, drop the weed. We got visitors. They run off back to the tavern because it was just the two of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, so they just skipped the poker game for a minute, went out and were smoking some wacky tobacco. And, they just got rolled up on by some folks, and they were like, yo, we gotta get the fuck out of here. So they were like, quick, distraction! And then they threw their shit.
Fucking cops!
Fucking cops, get out! Drop the shit! And off they went. And they're dogs, so they're really fast. So they were just gone. That's my theory.
Maybe.
So, for all you listeners out there, the poker pool playing dogs, they live in Fort Duchesne.
Go see him.
Go check them out, man. They're down at the pub down there. And if you get there and they're not there, they're in the secret basement. You gotta ask old Rory, the barkeep, about the secret basement. And then there's like a secret handshake. You give him one of these, and then you like pat his balls twice, and then he'll let you down into the secret basement.
Oh.
And then you'll be in the painting too.
And you'll never leave after that.
Now you're here forever. Forever, ever.
Forever, ever. So I'm almost finished here. I
Okay.
got a little bit left.
Okay, go ahead.
So, Bigelow's group, the aerospace group, they began funding research efforts for MUFON, which I also think is very interesting. This guy's got his hands in a lot of different pockets. Like, he's into some weird stuff. And I think that basically he was charged with boots on the ground, going out and investigating these sightings and abductions that people are claiming to experience.
Mm-hmm.
I read that as, let's use those people for scientific research. Some guy, a senior manager of the BAASS, Bigelow's group, he wrote an anonymous letter basically giving them the down low on some stuff.
Uh-huh.
They had hired 50 full-time staff. Some were retired military, law enforcement, PhDs, engineers, technicians, analysts, you name it, they got it. That was part of the team. And he was saying that this was more than nuts and bolts machines. He was saying that the phenomenon manifests in creatures, poltergeist activity, invisible entities, orbs of light, animal and human injuries, and much more. So he was just saying there was a whole lot of shit going on there. And so I'm just going to read some more of what he said. Sorry to be a little boring. But one of the major successes of Boss was in adopting the novel approach of utilizing the human body as a readout system for dissecting interactions with the UFO phenomenon. This novel approach aimed to circumvent the increasing evidence of deception and subterfuge by the UFO phenomenon, and that multiple eyewitnesses co-located in the same vicinity frequently reported seeing widely different events. The evidence was multiplying that the UFO phenomenon was capable of manipulating and distorting human perception, and therefore eyewitness testimony of UFO activity was becoming increasingly untrustworthy. So their approach was to view the human body as a readout system for UFO effects by utilizing forensic technology, the tools of immunology, cell biology, genomics, and neuroanatomy for in-depth studies of the effects of UFOs on humans. Basically, they wanted to bypass the deception and manipulation on the human perception, and they were doing so by studying the human body. So they're just trying to understand UFO and paranormal interaction by studying the human body after it happens. So I think that's exactly what was going on there.
Probably.
So, like, you're having you spit in tubes, they're doing blood tests, they're taking tissue samples.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's this
like
guy, he went, like, remaining anonymous, they called him Chip, but he was a security guide at the ranch, on and off. Mm-hmm. And he just went on the record, like, they asked him a bunch of questions, and it all seemed really funky. They didn't tell him anything when he got hired. He didn't know, what kind of shit he was walking into. And they had to work really weird hours and really weird shifts, and they were getting flown in from out of town until eventually protocol changed and they couldn't fly anymore because they were required to carry firearms. And he didn't understand why they were required to carry firearms because he wasn't aware of any threat. Like, they were just supposed to be, like, walking the perimeter. And, which is dumb. Like, of course you would want a firearm, but whatever. Chip seems like a simple man. Evidently, when they would walk the perimeter, they gave them, like, household pets to take with them instead of, like, trained canines. And he was basically saying, like, he didn't feel safe, and he almost felt like it was a test. He said that none of the cameras that they had posted, and they were posted everywhere, by the time he got there, none of the cameras worked anymore. So were they even trying to capture anything? He said that multiple high-ranking military visitors observed something so off-putting that they demanded to be escorted off the premises immediately. Didn't say what they saw. He said that whenever the personnel...
Got a mental image.
Whenever the personnel saw or felt something strange, they were required to have urine tests and bring the vials back to Vegas by the end of their shift. And as well as brain scans and other blood tests, and they would never give them the results of those tests. It was just like, oh, you saw something strange, we better test you. Were they told as little as possible to keep them from being biased? Were all the people at the ranch, were they test subjects? That's what I think. And I think that some of the MUFON people were test subjects as well.
At the end of the day, I think we're all test subjects.
Well, for sure.
I think those guys wanted to be escorted out. They saw their old granny just fucking finger banging her old ham banjo there.
Oh,
they just had to get on out.
No, just to clarify here, Jethro, you said, dude. Now, did you? Now, I just want to. I'm just trying to be clear here. You said a thing there.
We're gonna put you down.
Was that
It's just
you were given the old gobbledygook there? Did you say was that hand banjo or is that a ham? Or like
No,
ham banjo?
that's a ham, like a big Christmas ham, you know.
Like one of them oinkers, huh?
Yeah.
So was she the pig playing the banjo, or did she have?
Oh, she was just getting down and fiddling, you know.
Oh,
just,
she was
really
doing
taking it out there in the town.
Giving it the fiddle faddle, huh? Bringing the old, bringing the sparks to justice down there, huh? Okay.
You folks have it. The most recent sighting at Skinwalker Ranch.
There it is. Spanking the old slap maker, huh? Okay.
She was, she taking the old piss fenders down a bumpy road, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. She's got to vacuum those curtains, you know. Hey.
God.
All right.
Wow.
How is that possible? You have like movie sound effects that come out of your ass.
Somebody needs to fucking give me a contract for right now. I'm
Butt's
available.
his own entity.
It's really bad though.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like oftentimes we'll have
That's
a
not an air
conversation.
freshener.
Be like, butt says no.
I think I have two possibilities here.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wonder if it's not like if they're not trying. So the brain scans, urine tests, all of that shit, like taking all this weird stuff, sounds like they're trying to test for the effects of something that's in the environment. Mm-hmm. So whether it's radiation,
Right.
or like hell, I don't even know what the fuck else it would be.
Right.
If it is some kind of like portal or some shit, it could be like,
Who knows?
I
Foreign
don't know,
substance.
fucking dark matter and yeah, like that kind of stuff, barium, whatever. But what I think, and I think this is the most plausible, is that Skinwalker Ranch is located on an old nickel mine.
Oh, here we go.
And the wolf that they saw, it was a wolf, right? And you said that like a piece of it just kind of slicked off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's under that? Wolf's made of nickels.
Yeah. Old money bags.
Real living nickels.
That wolf's just an old walking bag of nickels.
Just an old walking bag of nickels, man.
I tell you what, you know what else they say
Just
about
imagine,
Skinwalker
like,
Ranch?
Dimply thighs.
Yeah.
Just giving them a nice lick.
Wolf nickels. You know what else they say about Skinwalker Ranch? It goes
Nope.
great on pizza.
Yeah.
Fucking hate you. Fucking hate you.
Whole Skinwalker Ranch. A Johnson & Johnson company.
I hope that like you go into somewhere, like I hope one day you find like a conspiracy theorist like restaurant or something.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You go in and you order like the fucking cheese pizza gate or something, right? And
Yeah.
you're like, hey, can I get that with some Skinwalker Ranch? And I hope the guy looks you dead in the eye and like pulls down his pants and just turkey slaps you into unconsciousness.
Well, yeah, I don't think that would ever happen to me.
Then when you wake up, he's standing over you, still naked, like still pants on the ground, and says, "That'll be an extra 75 cents. Is that okay?"
Oh hell! And I'd say, I reckon you gave me the old ham banjo there, huh? Gosh darn, you socked it to me pretty good there, hey, champ. You got a goddamn humdinger there if I ever seen one. You just knocked me clear.
They call it the Willem Dafoe, you know, because on account of the size of the hog, you know.
Yeah, I tell you what, that boy's hog, he had a whole fistful. You know what I'm saying? He could barely wrangle it, you know, with the one hander there. Anywho, and then I set him on fire. So,
Well, the next time you just gotta, get real aggressive with him and beat him off,
yeah, you beat him off. You say, listen here, mister. I've beat off many a men with these here fisticuffs, okay? Now, you don't want to be next in line, okay, Buster? And you show him both your hands, and you say, listen, these are both for beating you off real good, okay? I'll tell you what. I've beat off many a grown men, okay? With fuller bodies than you, okay?
I want us to get in a fight with Canadians one day. Not like an actual fight,
Just
but like we
being
do
like-
like the whole middle school like talk shit for half an hour thing.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Chest
I wanna do
slapping,
that.
like, come at me, bro, but Canadian style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's the end of the episode.
It's all about Nichols and Blink-182.
Yep.
Surprises let me know she cares.
Son of a bitch.
I had to fit that. I had to fit that somewhere. It never came up. That's like the only Blink-182 song I know.
The night will go on, my little windmill.
Is that a poem?
No, it's part of the song.
Don't forget about Monsieur Liberty.
All
I
right.
am here to introduce the
Monsieur,
band
why
that
don't you announce the music?
we have the wonderful song. This is from a group. They are called Uncle Daddy. We were going to feature them in a previous episode, but we scrapped it. So,
Huh?
R.I.P.
yeah, we were gonna, we were gonna feature these guys in an episode prior, but we just didn't use the episode. So, and that goes out to all you folks out there. You ever thought about getting out there and trying something? It's okay to fail. Sometimes you can record a 2-hour-long episode and just light it on fire. You can do that.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay, so they didn't tell me anything about themselves. This group is called Uncle Daddy. And that's it. That's it. I don't
What's
even
the
know
name
where
of
they're
the song?
from. So it's spelled with a K. It's Unkle, Daddy. And they gave me a couple songs. You know what? We'll put it up to a vote right now. I'm gonna leave it
All
up
right.
to a vote. Sorry. They gave me a couple songs. One's called The Reach Around,
Okay.
and another one's called Thick Licks and High Kicks.
That one.
Jesse?
Yeah, let's go with that one.
Okay. So, this is Thick Licks and High Kicks from Uncle Daddy. They did describe
Daddy.
themselves. They described themselves as the sexiest of rock and roll bands.
The incestuous of rock and roll bands.
Have sex with your dad.
Become your own brother.
So, yeah, that's it. Here's Thick Licks and High Kicks. We'll see you next Monday on Would You Want to Do That for $5? All right.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Fuck off. Fuck you, Jesse.
Bye.
Fuck you.
I've been spoon feed me that melody. I don't care how thick your lips are, I'm gonna eat 'em.